How to safeguard against students cheating on homework using ChatGPT. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. There's a new survey out that takes a look at the issue commissioned by a company called Turnitin. And with us, our Chief Product Officer, Annie Chechitelli. Hi, Annie.
Hello.
And also from Turnitin, distinguished machine learning scientist, Zack Bennett. Hi, Zack.
Hello.
Great to see you both. Annie, let's start with you. Tell us a bit of background about the company and what it does.
Sure. So Turnitin is about 25 years old, and we provide services to teachers and to schools to uphold academic integrity. Most well-known is our similarity detection, which will look at a paper that a student submitted and compare it to other sources such as the internet, as well as other papers.
Really interesting. And now along comes ChatGPT. So give us some details about this survey, either one of you, and what you found with it.
Yeah, so the survey was specifically with parents, and we found that 3 out of 4 parents approve of teachers using technology to help spot when AI writing has been used. But also interestingly, half of parents, or nearly half of parents, see that or know that their children have used ChatGPT for their schoolwork.
I don't know, they're gone, but I guess the old days of one student giving a friend their paper to more or less copy from, that's the old style of doing things. And today there's a lot more at the disposal of the students, I suppose.
Yeah, they have a lot more tools, whether it be old school collusion, right? Working with your friends, as well as finding things on the internet and many other tools. But now they have ChatGPT to help them write as well.
Zack, give us your perspective on how big of a problem this is.
Well, I get a lot of information from my children who are in high school and college, and I know they have all heard of it. My daughter in high school has talked with many teachers about it. They bring it up a lot. So I think there's a very broad awareness of the tool being out there. Students are playing around with it, but I think there's also a very strong impulse from educators to discuss this with students and really figure out what's the best way to approach this technology, because as you said a minute ago, it's not really going away. It's going to be something there are going to be more and more tools in the future. There's going to be new and interesting ways to misuse those tools if students feel the pressure to do so. So this is going to be something that will be with us and be a growing presence in the future.
Interesting. So what is the solution, either one of you here, that has been developed there? How does Turnitin help?
Yeah, I can talk about the detector we've developed. So when a large language model like ChatGPT generates text, it's basically just predicting the next word based on the prompt that it was given and then the words it's already generated. So it tends to produce average type of writing, and it tends to do things like redundancy. And that's very different from how a human writes. A human is writing from thoughts that they have in their head, and the idea about where they want to carry the paper or what it is they're saying. So humans tend to be a little more surprising in that regard. And just based on that sort of statistical footprint, we can distinguish between student writing and the AI-generated text.
And how accurate is the tool? Because after all, you don't want to be accusing a student of something that maybe he or she didn't do.
Yeah, that's very true. Our tool in our clean lab environment is highly accurate. We're very confident in the accuracy. We find that our false positive rate is just 1%, which is pretty amazing. If we identify something and say that it's AI generated, it's very, very rarely actually human written. And the efficacy of the detector is still very high at that level. So we appreciate the fact that we don't want to put anyone in a position of being accused falsely. So we've biased our detector to be very, very precise in that regard.
Annie, maybe you can tell us how this works from a school perspective, a teacher perspective. They give assignments, or a test or something, and the kids turn it in. That's where your name comes in. So tell us how it works and this is a subscription model for the schools, or how does it work?
Yeah, and so I'll start with kind of working backwards from where Zack left off. So when we provide that information around if we suspect that there's AI writing, we ultimately make sure that the teachers make that determination, not the tool. So what we do is we provide information, and then the teacher should think about the student, right? Think about the writing, perhaps ask a question, perhaps see like in the enormity of the assignment, how much of the assignment was it just one sentence? So we really provide information for the teachers to make their decisions. So the way the products look and the interface for the teachers, currently our existing product it's in the same interface. So when a teacher goes to look at what we call a similarity report, so after the student has turned it in, they're able to see the different texts that might match other papers or the internet. And so we show them that. And then we also have a button now that says AI writing with a certain percentage, and the percentage denotes the percentage of that paper that may have AI writing that we're detecting as such. And then the teachers clicks in more to find out kind of more information about AI writing, what it means, and perhaps how to carry on a conversation with student to ask them more information to determine if any misconduct has happened.
So from a business perspective, is it the school that subscribes to or a board of education makes a determination, we're going to use your service? And tell us how that works.
Yes, that's how it is. It's a software as a service subscription between the institution or the district and Turnitin.
And if I'm a teacher, and I assume most assignments today are turned in digitally, that I'm getting a file from a student. So what happens then? What are the logistics? How does it work? Each and every paper, and how long does it take? Tell me about it.
Right. When we get a submission, it goes through a pipeline that does various things to it. It runs it through our traditional copy-paste similarity logic. And along the way, we run our new AI writing detection on it. So it's part of the normal, what we call similarity report workflow. And so a teacher will set a deadline for assignments. Students will turn those assignments in. And then after the deadline is passed and the students have all turned in their papers, the student will go, or the teacher can go in and look at the list of papers, and they get kind of a dashboard view that shows them when the assignment was turned in, and then also information about what we found in the similarity report, like, how much matched sources on the internet were there. And then when they click through and look at the student's document, they're able to see a finer level detail about where we found, here's something that looks like it may have been copied from Wikipedia. And in that view is where we'll have an indication that says what the AI writing detector found and where they may want to look further. If they click on that, they actually get a more detailed view that shows sentence level prediction from our AI writing detection.
How many institutions or schools are you working with these days?
So for our integrity products, we work with over 10,000 institutions.
Really interesting. And finally, how do you keep up with all of this? Because this technology seemed to arrive almost overnight and is evolving so quickly as well.
Yeah, it's head spinning. And the interesting thing is we've actually been working on this for a couple of years now. We knew this was coming. Language models have been around for a while. We built our first detector 2 years ago. So in a sense, we've been preparing for it all along. The sort of press around it and the explosion and the impact it's had on culture was kind of unexpected to us. We didn't really anticipate that part of it. So it has been kind of a shock in that regard. And then the speed which new technology is developing is really quite amazing. All I can say is we're doing everything we can to track the newest releases that come out for these language models to analyze how well our detector works on them and make determinations about whether we need to retrain or modify our detector in some way to address those threats.
Terrific. For more info, where do we go?
You can go to our website at turnitin.com. And from there, if you want to learn more specifically about AI writing, you can click on that on the top of the page.
Turnitin.com. Annie and Zack, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.